We begin with a great ending, the thrilling climax to Mario Lanza's album of Neapolitan classics, recorded in Rome in December 1958, and simply titled Mario. It was Lanza's masterpiece. Lanza began work on Mario after completing what would be his final film, For the First Time. The rich, mature, burnished baritonal sound that would make the album such a beautiful experience was also on display in For the First Time, especially on his performance of another Neapolitan classic, O Sole Mio. The link from this 1958 film project and his next album project involves more than the vocal sound. The publicity photo of Zsa Zsa Gabor and Mario from this scene would, with the help of RCA's art department, become the cover of Mario. With For the First Time completed, and an album cover in the bag, Lanza started work on his album of Neapolitan classics. The conducting duties were in the very talented and well-respected hands of Franco Ferrara of the Academy of Santa Cecilia in Rome. He was a mentor of Riccardo Muti. Mario and Franco only met on a couple of occasions at Lanza's home in Rome. It's quite amazing when you hear how in tune, simpatico and together they are on these recordings. Ferrara got Mario. He understood him. It's one of the few times in Mario's career when he worked with a conductor of this calibre, and the results produced his very best singing. Ferrara told Lanza biographer Armando Cesari that Mario possessed a Caruso-type voice with the qualities of both steel and warmth, and Ferrara knew what he was talking about. His handling of Mario and the orchestrations and the orchestra is sublime, with some beautiful touches. The newly commissioned orchestrations breathed new life into these chestnuts. They were shared between Carlo Savina, a noted film composer and arranger. He was the musical director for The Godfather, and Ennio Morricone, the legendary composer and arranger of countless classic film scores. So we can see, this album had class in every department. Lanza had recorded 8 of these 12 songs previously, during his Coca-Cola sponsored radio show of 1951 to 1952. Those early recordings have that exciting young, soar off into space voice, but they're a little bit rough around the edges interpretively. That's what's fascinating about having these later remakes. We see Mario's growth as an artist. And what growth! It's not just about the spectacular high notes anymore, and just making beautiful sounds. Now he is a complete artist, with interpretive intensity, a luxurious lower register to bring depth and emphasis to his readings, while still maintaining that glorious ringing top in his voice. He is telling a story, being incredibly expressive and getting under the skin of these songs of love, loss, longing and heartbreak. Mario's handling of the Neapolitan dialect on this album is sublime. He sounds like a native. I think the experience of having moved to Italy in 1957 added another level to these interpretations. The striking phonetical difference with Neapolitan is the weakening of the unstressed vowels into what linguists call schwa. An example would be O Sole Mio, not O Sole Mio, O Sole Mio, or Voia, Voia, the E in Voia. Another Neapolitan trait is the S into sh, as in Spero dopo vedere, spe instead of spe. This is what makes this album special. Mario's Neapolitan pronunciation is spot on and authentic. He's not only emoting like a Neapolitan, he sounds like a Neapolitan. This is almost method singing. He's not just aping this, he's living and breathing it. This lack of authenticity with Neapolitan lets down many other tenors. So let's start listening to some nice moments from this album, and there are so many to choose from. Let's start with Voce e Notte, Voice in the Night, the story of a lovesick man wandering the streets, serenading under the window of his lover, as she lies in the arms of her husband. Mario said of himself, "I sing each word as though it were my last on earth." It's this dramatic conviction and sincerity that leaves you spellbound. Voce e Notte contains some of his most emotionally bare singing and great storytelling. Isn't that just sublime? And here is another beautifully phrased moment. Mario seems to be practically tucking them up in bed with his voice. Vida che senza e non maserrano dilla che dorme e che sarà sicuro. Isn't that just delicious despair? Now listen to this last line and how Mario acts through his singing. He finishes off the story with this lovesick man's pure dejection and sense of foolishness, finding himself singing alone in the night. Now listen to the fun, joy and pure charisma that Mario brings to this charming little gem of a recording, Come Fagetta Mametta, in which the girl Gunje is told of all the wonderful things that her mother used to conjure her up.
Non c'è bisogno zingare per diventare Gunje, come da fatta mamma da saccerei te.
Isn't that delightful? It makes me smile every time. That's one of Mario's superpowers, being able to sell you any song and make it fresh and come alive. One of the standout performances on this album is Canta per me, Sing for Me. It's beautifully sung from start to finish, but let's listen to the amazing climax.
Ma tu caspieto, che non
It's not all about the big finish on this album. Listen to the subtlety in these lines from Nasera Maggio, One Evening in May.
Stocchi tuoi non so sincero, come quando mi incontraste, come quando mi diceste voglio bene solo a te.
That is so good. Such taste and delicacy. Don't let anybody tell you that all Mario did was shout and scream. This next clip contains one of the most spine-tingling moments I've ever heard from any singer. The way Mario glides and floats down with the most glorious glissando to start the chorus from the word do. That word is so apt. This is pure gold.
Se mi passa sta freva, ora è bello la te voglia, te penso, te chiama.
That never fails to give me chills. A stunning and genius piece of phrasing. Let's go back to Nasera Maggio and the next few lines. A great example of Mario pouring out expressive phrases with loads of passion.
E tremando mi giuraste con una maningata e non sei scarto prima amore, mo te stai scordando me.
And what a great finish this song has.
E tu mi dicesti sì, nascere maggio, e mo ti ne abbraccio, e me la
He had it all. Impeccable diction and phrasing, incredible breath control, baritonal warmth and thrilling top. It's just the most beautiful tenor voice ever. There are 2 understated songs on this album. There are no fireworks, but they are no less fascinating. What Mario gives us here is hauntingly introspective. Songs of longing and loss. Firstly, one's longing for home. Let's listen to the serene opening of Santa Lucia Lontana.
Partone bastamento per terra assai lontano, cantano a bordo son napolitano.
That is a lovely orchestration, unlike any I've ever heard for that song. Beautiful work by Morricone.
Cantano per tramento, o golfeggiò scombare, e a luna mezzo mare, non poco a Napoli la fa vedere.
Now, the loss of a lover, whose death is symbolised by the light that has gone out in her window. There's some very stark imagery in this song of her lying cold, alone in her grave.
Da quella bocca che nasce ne giura, non nascere l'inverno che pietava.
Such a sad song. And here's the ending. I like to think that running out of breath at the end of that song was deliberate, because it really shows that man's despair. After that haunting introspection, let's have some fireworks, the climax to Tu che non piangi, You Who Don't Cry.
Voglia te, voglia te, che sto chiamando nella voda, vedere.
This album seems very personal to Mario. I have a feeling this was almost a gift to his parents and grandparents. These were family favourites. You can hear the love in every note. After Mario's death, his mother gave a TV interview.
There are many favourite songs of my son's, but there's one special one that I like so much because I sang it as a girl, and it's called Dicite Angela Vui.
Che sto chiedoce, voi sola me guardate, levammoci sta maschera e dicimmo la verità. Te voglio bene assai.
I always feel a little sad when I hear that song and think of Maria Lanza and listening to recordings of her son after he had passed away. With this next song, let's listen to the difference from the earlier performances of these songs by listening to a bit of Coke show exuberance.
Rabada venesto, famma faccia Maria, e castonga mezza via, sperando d'avrà.
And now the smoothness of his work with Ferrara and the recordings in Rome.
Non trovano le pace, notte fa giorno, sempre per stacca attorno, sperano già ballare. Oh Maria, oh Maria.
Let's finish our roundup with a big favourite in Naples, O Soldato Innamorata. This brings back memories of my nonna who used to sing this. This was sung by my nonno when he was a soldier in the First World War.
Stai lontano da stupore e a te volo co pensiero, niente voglia e niente spera che la notte sempre a fianco a me. Sì, sicuro è che st'amore che mi so sicure te. Oi vita mia, oi cuore, che sto cuore si stata prima amore, o prima e l'ultima sarà per me.
Once the album sessions were completed at Cinecittà Studios in Rome, the master tapes were sent to New York and Mario received a glowing telegram from producer Richard Moore. Just a note to tell you how excited all of us are about your forthcoming album of Neapolitan songs. You and Ferrara certainly cooperated beautifully, and I have seldom heard you sing better than this. I know the record will be a success, if only on the basis of something like Di Gidingela Voia or Passione, although all 12 songs are beautifully done. That must have really heartened Mario. He must have known that he had created something very special. I always loved that the album cover is emblazoned with Italian superlatives. There's no hyperbole here. These compliments are richly deserved. The album was more of an artistic success than a financial one, and wasn't featured on RCA compilations over the years, aside from the opening Potboiler track Funiculi Funicola, which is a bit bizarre and unfortunate, as it is the only track that has a weakness on this otherwise perfect album. One of the signs of a true classic is timelessness. This album's engineering, orchestrations, conducting, playing, and Mario's peerless renditions make this collection sound as fresh today as it did when it was recorded over 60 years ago. Lanza laid down what are definitive and go-to performances of these Neapolitan gems. It is a classic, and Mario is Lanza's masterpiece. I have a very personal connection with this album. I love it. I always have. I've never not known the album because it was in my father's record collection when I was growing up. This is his original purchase from 1959, a mono pressing. Well, I played this to death. I loved it. When I got hold of a copy that was in much better condition as a teenager, I was surprised by lines that I didn't know were there, and would you believe a whole verse that my stylus had skipped over because of the damage that I think was caused by my older brother Mario. The best version I've ever heard of this album was released in 2006, Super Audio CD from Sony. They remastered all the living stereo releases, and they did a fantastic job on Mario. If you can get a hold of this, it sounds fantastic. Now there are 10 of these tracks if you want to get closer to the original vinyl sound on Sepia's release My Italian Soul. So that's a lovely, lovely sound on that as well. And there are a few of the choice tracks on Sepia's other release, Classics. So thanks for watching and listening, and thanks to Derek McGovern and Armando Cesari for all their help and education over the years. And if you want to find out more about Mario Lanza, do check out Derek McGovern's fantastic site, Mario Lanza Tenor, and Armando Cesari's biography, Mario Lanza, An American Tragedy. It's a definitive biography, it's fantastic. And also thank you to my father for having this fantastic treasure in his collection and all the lovely gift of music he gave me over the years. And thanks to you, Mario, for that amazing voice that has thrilled and excited me all these years. And thank you for your Neapolitan masterpiece, Mario. So, let's end with a great ending. So if you liked this video and want to see more like it, hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much.